Reuben is the firstborn of Leah and Jacob. He was the one instrumental for the brothers not to kill Joseph. He told them, put him in this pit, because he planned to take Joseph out and return him to his dad. But when he wasn't there, the brothers sold him. When they went to Egypt for food, it was Reuben who told his brothers, I told you not to harm that boy. See how we are being treated. And he was the one who also told their dad, let's take Benjamin to Egypt. If anything happens to Benjamin, kill my 2 sons. However, he messed up. He slept with his dad's concubine. So his dad cursed him. He said, you are unstable as water. And he removed that firstborn privilege from him and gave it to Joseph. And when Moses said, when they cross over to the promised land, there are 2 mountains, mountain of blessing, mountain of curses. Reuben went on the mountain of curses, and that's Reuben. Simeon is Jacob and Leah's second son. When his sister Dinah was raped by Shechem, he and Levi, another brother, his next, they killed all the men in Shechem and took their sister Dinah back. He was also one of the brothers instrumental in selling Joseph. When the famine began and the brothers went to Egypt to buy food, and Joseph accused them of being spies, it was Simeon who was held captive, and Joseph said, until you come back with Benjamin, I will not release your brother. And Jacob said, Joseph is dead, Simeon is no more, and you want to take Benjamin. And when Jacob was blessing his sons when he was about to die, he said Simeon and Levi have anger issues, and he cursed that they should be scattered amongst Israel. And Levi had no portion. They were scattered amongst Israel because as they were priests, and Simeon's portion was within Judah, so they were scattered in Israel. When Leah had her 3rd son with her husband Jacob, she named him Levi, for she said, perhaps he will now become attached to me. It's Levi and Simeon who killed all the men in Shechem because of the rape of their sister Dinah. And when Jacob was dying and he was blessing or cursing his sons, he said Levi and Simeon have anger issues, and he cursed that they will be scattered in Israel. In the wilderness, when the people worshiped the golden calf, and Moses said, if you're on the Lord's side, come to me. It was all the Levites who went to the side of Moses, and they killed all the idolaters. And because of what they did, their zeal for the Lord in the wilderness, they became like the priests in Israel. So they were scattered in Israel. They had portions within all the tribes. So the curse did come true, but in a good way. And that's Levi. Judah is Leah and Jacob's 4th son. His name means praise. While Reuben was planning to save Joseph, it was Judah's idea that they should sell Joseph instead. He must have felt guilty because shortly after he left his brothers, he got married. He had 3 sons and a daughter-in-law. God killed 2 of his sons, and then the daughter-in-law had to deceive him in order to have babies. She had twins by Judah. Go and read up on it. And then when the famine happened and they went to Egypt and Joseph wanted to keep Benjamin, it was Judah who put himself forward and said, no, let Benjamin go back to his dad. The man will die. Keep me instead. And when Jacob was dying, he blessed Judah. He said kings will come from him. The scepter will not depart from him. His brothers will praise him. And Prophet Micah also prophesied about this. When Rachel saw that her sister Leah had given birth to 4 sons for their husband Jacob, she gave him her maid Bilhah to have children by her. Bilhah is the one that Reuben slept with, causing Jacob to curse him. Bilhah gave birth to a son. Rachel named the boy Dan because she said, the Lord has judged me. Dan was also complicit in the sale of their brother Joseph. When Jacob was dying, he blessed Dan and said he will be a judge over his tribe. Deborah sang about the tribe of Dan because they did not come out to war against the Canaanites. Samson is also from the tribe of Dan. And then the tribe of Dan, they stole an idol, they stole vestments, they stole a priest, and they set up this idol. And they were the first tribe in Israel to start idol worshipping. Rachel's maid Bilhah gives birth to a 2nd son. That's Jacob's 6th son. Rachel names the boy Naphtali, because she said, I struggled and wrestled with my sister. Naphtali was also complicit in the sale of Joseph. When Jacob was dying, he blessed Naphtali and said, he's like a female deer set free with beautiful fawns. Deborah tells Barak to take the tribe of Naphtali with him to fight against the Canaanites. King Solomon hires Hiram to help him build the temple. His mother is from the tribe of Naphtali. And in the end, the king of Assyria captures the tribe of Naphtali and takes them with him to Assyria. That's Naphtali. When Leah saw that Rachel's maid Bilhah had 2 sons by their husband Jacob, she also decided, anything you can do, I can do better. And she gave her maid Zilpah to her husband to have children for her. And Zilpah got pregnant and had a son. Leah called his name Gad, for she said, I am so lucky. And then when they wanted to cross the river Jordan with Moses, the tribe of Gad and Reuben told Moses that they don't want to cross over. They want to stay on the east side of the river Jordan because this land is big and it's enough for our cattle. And Moses said if they help their brothers, then they can move there, which they did. But then they almost got wiped out because they built an altar and the other tribes mistakenly thought it was a shrine. So they all came guns blazing, wanted to destroy the 2 tribes. That's Gad and Reuben, until they explained and their explanation was accepted. Leah's maid Zilpah got pregnant and had a second son. Now this is Jacob's 8th son. Leah called him Asher, for she said, I am happy and women will call me happy. He was also complicit in the sale of Joseph. When Jacob was dying, he blessed Asher and said, you will have a good food, fit for a king. And when Joshua was sharing the land in Canaan, he gave the tribe of Asher fertile ground, which was so rich that everything grew. They were prosperous and they were better known for olive oil. They supplied the entire Israel with olive oil. So Jacob's blessing did come true on Asher. And in the New Testament, the prophetess Anna, the one that was praying for the Messiah to come before she dies, was from the tribe of Asher. So that's Asher. Reuben, Leah's firstborn son, found some mandrake plants and took them to his mother. Rachel went to Leah to beg for some of these plants because they are quite good for fertility. Leah said, first you steal my husband and now you want my plants. Rachel said, okay, you can sleep with our husband tonight. So Leah gave her some of the plants. When Jacob came home, Leah said, I have bought you with my plants. You need to sleep with me tonight. Jacob did not protest. He slept with Leah and she became pregnant. She gave birth to a son. This is now Jacob's 9th son. She said, because I hired my maid, God has blessed me with a son. She called his name Issachar. When Jacob was blessing Issachar, he called him a strong donkey between sheep. He put his back to work to protect the sheep. And First Chronicles says that the tribe of Issachar, they were knowledgeable. They knew the times. They knew what Israel should do. Leah got pregnant again. And she said, surely now my husband will honor me. I've given him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And when Jacob was blessing his sons of Zebulun, he said that they will live by the seashore and become a haven for ships. And Moses also said, out of the abundance of the seas, Zebulun will prosper. Deborah also sang about the tribe of Zebulun, that they almost risked their lives during the battle with Sisera. That's how courageous they are. And the First Chronicles says 50,000 members of the tribe of Zebulun joined David. Experienced men joined David to fight. And that's Zebulun. Finally, God remembers Rachel and she gets pregnant. She gives birth to a son and she says she prays that God will give her another child. She names him Joseph. Jacob is so happy, as you can understand. This is his favorite wife. Joseph is his 11th son. He shows him favoritism, makes him a coat of many colors. He can do no wrong in the eyes of his dad. So his brothers are jealous of him. They plan to kill him, eventually sell him to Egypt, where he ends up in Potiphar's house, and then he ends up in prison. He interprets Pharaoh's dreams. He becomes prime minister. He saves the world at that time from starvation. The brothers go down to Egypt to buy food. They don't recognize him. He recognizes them. They eventually are all reunited. Jacob and the whole tribe, 70 of them, move to Egypt. When Joseph is about to die, he says they should take his bones with them when they are leaving Egypt. After Jacob and his family leave Uncle Laban, Rachel gets pregnant again, but it's a difficult labor and she dies giving birth. But before she died, she named the baby Benoni, which means son of my affliction. But Jacob renames him Benjamin, which means son of my right hand. So when Joseph is in Egypt, he asks for Benjamin to come to him. Benjamin goes there. He gives him favorable treatment. He plants his cup in Benjamin's bag. He wants to keep Benjamin with him. But Judah says he will take his place. He eventually reveals himself that he is Joseph. And Jacob blesses Benjamin before he dies. The tribe of Benjamin were almost wiped out because of the atrocity they performed against the Levi's concubine. There was only like 600 men left. They had to give them wives to restart that tribe. If they had succeeded, we would not have had Paul and his writings, because Paul was from the tribe of Benjamin.